All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Time flies by, and yeah, just before you know it, time actually does fly by. I mean, here we are already, almost end of August, middle of August, end of August, and work has been a little bit crazy, so time's just going by really quick. I thought I'd get a little bit more videos out for you guys, but I've been doing the overnight shift, and it's a little bit hectic at work, so. Without further ado, I got a new watch in, and this is called an MMi TURRET. Now these guys are out of Singapore. This is a 2020 model. I managed to snag this from a live stream off of Watch Chris on a Whatnot, and this is number 59 of 100. 300 meters of water resistance. It's a version 2, powered by a NH35. It's got a sapphire crystal, ion plating, stainless steel bezel, as you can see there. So it's not ceramic, not aluminum. They call it on their website ion plated stainless steel. So here is the black with gilt indices and chapter ring. It's got their logo in the center there, and it also has turret, because that's the model name. Unscrew the crown. I'll just move these hands out of the way. And yeah, so turret is the model, and 300 meters water resistance. What really drawn me, was what really drawn me to this piece was the color, the indices, that gilt tone, that creamy color. Kind of looks different in different lighting. It's a really beautiful dial. You can kind of see right there, it almost has like a striation pattern to it, like it's almost like a brushed. It's got lateral brushing all the way across, and there's a lot going on. There's applied indices. There's almost like a sandwich dial with that roulette chapter wheel. Really cool. Hands are nice and simple. They're finished well. Everything's finished well on here. Again, out of Singapore. They're a really nice company, micro brand. I believe this one went Kickstarter. I didn't hear of them until I seen a few videos online, but again, I saw it on his channel, and yeah, decided to scoop it up. I don't know how long it's going to stay in the collection, but I might even have posted it for sale already. It's just a little bit too chunky, and we'll get into that later. I really wanted to show that chapter wheel. It's also got an orange kind of loom to it, and you can see there it's the 20th, and it doesn't have like a pointer date or anything, but the chapter wheel is kind of loomed in behind there. So take a loom shot now just to see what it looks like. Okay, so the logo is not loomed. The crown is loomed. Let me get some light on the crown. Let's blast this guy here. That was just a loom from the overhead lights that I got here. Let's loom up the crown. All right. So take a look at that. That's pretty impressive. Again, a micro brand putting out good loom. Nothing new. You see it with Zelos, and you see it with a whole bunch of other brands. I'm going to put something else on screen here as well, just to give you an idea. But yeah, so you can see that little pointer date there. Now, in the dark, obviously, you're not going to see what the date is, but at least kind of, you can see it during the day. That's what's most important, is during the day, it's a little bit easier to see. When I put the lights off here in a second, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, the loomed indices, the Arabics, or sorry, not the Arabics on the bezel insert, but the baton indices are all loomed. The hands are nice. It does last okay, but when you have it up against the Swordfish with a true sandwich kind of dial, I mean, there's really no competition. It kind of, lasts long, but nowhere near as long as the Swordfish. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on. We'll take a look at some other loom as well compared to this later on. But I just wanted to show this watch and show the features. And there you can see that orange kind of colored indication there on the 20th. So it's pretty cool. Even from further away, you can kind of see it. But if it's on your wrist at that distance, you'd be able to see what date it is. I like that. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen a watch with with this style as well. So kind of cool. What's also kind of cool is the design as well. So when I show this, oh, sorry, bumped the camera. When I showed this before to someone else, they're like, oh, it looks like a samurai case. Well, you guys be the judge. Does that look pretty samurai-ish? I believe so. They may have drawn inspiration from it. They may have not. On their website, they said they took their inspiration from a, I believe it was a some sort of torpedo sub, or you know, like a warship, and their turrets were actually recessed into the warship, so kind of like this. So their bezel doesn't lay flat on top of the case. It kind of has like a shroud, similar to the Monster, similar to the Samurai, where it kind of sits inside the bezel like that. So really nice brushing. It's brand new. It's still got the sticker on the clasp and all that. I got to take that off, but yeah, traditional micro adjust clasp here, micro brand clasp. Pretty standard stuff. Pressed upper, milled clasp. But what I do like it has the quick adjust bracelets that Zelos has been offering now for a while. Again, I'm comparing them to them only because they're both from Singapore. Obviously, Zelos has been out for a little bit longer, but these are some of the design elements that they've used that have been successful, and it seems like these guys have adopted it as well, and I don't have a problem with that at all. So let's get into the size. We have a 40mm case here to here. It is 13.5. Again, it looks worse than that, but it actually is 13.5. 47.5 lug to lug. We have negative end links, and those protrude down nice and easy, nice and flat. This also sits pretty flat to the case. So on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, this wears actually pretty nice. Like I said, a little bit too chunky for me than what I'm used to. I did have the Proxima MM300. I loved it. It was a great watch. Also have the gilt tones and gilt indices, and you'll see I have something, obviously, you know, some sort of soft spot for that color tone or that colorway. It seems like a lot of the watches I have right now in the collection have those gilt tones and those cream colored full patina kind of look to it. But yeah, the MM300 homage from Proxima was amazing. Wore it on bracelet mostly. I loved it, but in the end, compared to my other watches, when I would switch back and forth, it was a little bit too thick. It did have kind of some wobble on it. So yeah, this one here is, again, it's not as thick. I think the Proxima homage was about 15 or 16 millimeters. This one's 13.4, so very manageable. I'll show you another watch here, the next thickest one in my collection. And I believe, so this is almost 13 millimeters, the Seiko Monster. Again, kind of has that Fotina cream colored indices, just not with a black dial, that nice sunburst blue. But let me hold these side to side. So yeah, you can kind of see there. So I guess it appears chunkier, maybe because of that little bit of a crystal. But the bezel on the Monster is a bit bigger, so it's almost like a trade-off. I do like the drilled lugs on the Monster. This one doesn't have any, but it does give a clean look. You got nice vertical brushing on the side. It's really nice, nicely finished watch. I have no complaints for it. You're not going to be able to find them now, again, unless it's a second-hand market. So when I saw it on the WhatsApp, I bid on the auction. I actually didn't think I was going to get it, and I ended up winning it. So if you guys haven't checked out Whatnot, you can follow me on there as well. I may, depending on how the channel goes, I may do a couple of giveaways on there. We'll see what happens. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys want a kind of a giveaway on Whatnot, I'll see if I can figure out how to use that platform, as I'm just kind of getting into the hobby a little bit more. So screw down crown, really nice. Again, it's got the Seiko NH35. Sorry, kind of hard with the gloves, but it does engage nicely. There you go. Yeah, so Seiko NH35, again, no problem with that at all. It's got a really nice bracelet. Screw pins for sizing. Sorry, 22 millimeter lug width. I do have a couple of straps with that lug width opening, as it also is the same lug width as my Seiko SKX. So what I wanted to do was I just wanted to show right now in the collection that soft spot that I had mentioned for gilt tone indices. And as you guys can see here, I have the gilt tone Monta Ocean King. So again, very traditional black kind of gray dial matte, not really any sunburst. You can see this one here is more of a glossy style, again with that very nice brushing, very nice brushing on the dial. Let's see if I can get it here. It's really hard to see, but closely into the naked eye you can really see. It looks really nice, almost like a slate kind of style. So here's another. This is a 41 millimeter by 12, 11.9 I believe even. A very nice thin Swiss movement. This does have a 49 lug to lug, and this one, like I said, had a 47. So this one has a little bit more turn down in the lugs, which I like. The Ocean King can kind of sometimes, depending, you know, how it sits in your wrist size, could sit a little bit flat. It does have ever so slightly turned down, but not as much as I would like. Maybe that's going to be something new in the upcoming iteration that they do when Monta releases their new one. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, and then next we have the Swordfish. This is called the Black Sand. This is a Gen 1 with the red triangle pip. There's not too many of these out there. I believe some of the other ones even had a full beige colored or full patina triangle that matched the indices, but this one here is absolutely beautiful. I went with this one. Again, got it secondhand. It is worn, it has been loved, and I've been loving it even more recently. This has been with me every single night this week on the overnight shift. So this does get battered and bruised, but it is there to do the job, and it does the job well. Okay, so there's that. There's this gold tone indices, gold tone gilt, and this guy here. So three kind of gilt tone watches, but all three looking different, all three doing different things. You know, they're all divers. They're all 300 meters, 300 meters. The Swordfish gets 200 meters, even though I'm pretty sure it can go a little bit more than that. Now, what's interesting here is, you know, a lot of people also say that the Swordfish also gets design cues and elements from the Samurai as well, only because being Seiko kind of came out with that design first. They're the ones that made it famous, and now other micro brands are kind of following suit. Now again, this is not a Samurai, but you can see even the Monster still has kind of similar looking proportions there. I've never had a Samurai in hand before, but I'm, you know, just by looking at it and looking at, you know, hundreds of videos of it, you can kind of see where these guys from Singapore got their look from. Again, you can see finishing wise, well, that scratch is new. Yeah, that one definitely happened this week. It's all good. So yeah, you can see you know, brushing and finishing wise, Zelos been around since 2014, 2015. These guys here, you know, 2017 maybe, 2018, maybe even 2019. But yeah, so you can see the finishing and the nice little transition here. What I also like to see here is you got the chamfered edges on the inside of the lugs, whereas before you'd only see that on, you know, something like this Ocean King here, where they actually polish the inside of the lug width opening there. So when I saw this on here too, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool detail. Kind of makes it look a little bit more refined. It's got that little bit of a bevel edge right there. So I kind of like the finishing. You can see it's kind of polished, brushed, polished line runs all the way across. Really nice logo there on the crown. And yeah, very Samurai looking, but it's cool. It's not really a homage, it's something different. Very unique. And yeah, but if you guys are interested in this, this will be for sale. It's just right now I just picked up kind of a grail watch in terms of the micro brand scene. So this is right here. So Zelos Blacktip forged carbon. This is the Zelos Timekeepers edition. Yeah, only made 150 of these, and I'm super stoked that I picked this up. such a nice bezel. Even more of a refined bezel than my spearfish and swordfish. Just absolutely tremendous watch. That dial, kind of just that forged carbon just melts. But enough of that about this one. I'll have to do a separate video on that. Look at that. Look at that case profile. Modern skin diver at its best. So video on this coming up as well. And that's why, you know, I posted kind of a few watches for sale. So if you want, head on my Instagram, and usually I post stuff there, which watches I have on sale. Time Flies By 2020. You can kind of see me on Instagram there with more screenshots and photos and reels and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. As always, if you liked, please subscribe and comment on the video. And yeah, this one here, MMi TURRET. Really, really good looking watch. But you can't keep them all, guys. All right, until the next one, I'm out. Oh, quick wrist check. Also running the Zelos Comet right now on this Heimdallr shark mesh. It's been living on this bracelet ever since. So phenomenal stuff by these micro brands, especially particularly out of Singapore. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.